In Football Manager 2018, many new Wonderkids emerged. Let's have a look at just some of those who are yet to fulfill that early potential. Seven years ago, Tanguy Ndombele had just arrived at Lyon on an initial loan. Having impressed at his new club, the transfer clause was activated and he became a permanent signing. Over the following seasons, he became one of Ligue 1's leading midfielders and established himself in the French national setup. All was going well before a very ill-fated move to Tottenham, where his stock would plummet. Today he's with Galatasaray in Turkey, and judging by his form, it's unlikely that they'll retain him at the end of the season. Arthur Melo was once one of the highest regarded youngsters coming out of Brazil. He'd make 70 appearances with Gremio, scoring 6 goals before Barcelona signed him for a fee of up to €40 million. With his elite technical ability, you'd assume he would have assimilated easily into the Barcelona style, but it wasn't to be. He could never establish himself as a full-time starter and would depart for Juventus in 2020. Interestingly, he's having somewhat of a renaissance with Fiorentina this season, and maybe with some luck, he can get back to the form he enjoyed earlier in his career. In April 2015, Kieran Tierney made his Celtic debut. Over the next 4 seasons, he became the Scottish club's starting left-back, as his side won 8 trophies. Arsenal had seen enough and bought him to North London for £25 million. In an unfortunate 5-year spell since, he suffered countless injuries, losing his starting spot to Alexander Zinchenko. With limited game time, a move to Real Sociedad materialised in the summer, and with that, a chance to rediscover his early form. Ousmane Dembele's €105 million move to Barcelona is arguably the most ill-fated transfer of all time. After impressing with Rennes and then Dortmund, the Catalan Giants would sign him in 2017. To be fair to him, he made a relatively strong start in his first 2 seasons, scoring 18 goals. The next 4, though, would be defined by a lack of cutting edge and a very costly miss in a Champions League semi-final. In 2023, he departed for PSG, where he's yet to set the world alight there either. Arguably one of the biggest falls from grace in recent years, Patrick Cutrone. In 2017, he was just about to start the most successful season of his career to date, where he'd score 18 goals for AC Milan. The following season, Wolves would bring him to the Premier League for €23 million. This would initiate a stark decline in his performances, as he scored just 2 goals in England's top flight before loan moves around Europe. Today he's with Como in Serie B, probably wondering what happened with that early spark in his career. Ryan Sessegnon would debut for Fulham aged just 16, before establishing himself as one of Europe's most in-demand fullbacks. After relegation from the top flight, Tottenham won the tug-of-war and signed him for a fee of up to £25 million. Since arriving in North London, he's been ravaged by injuries, at the time of recording playing less than 60 games in almost 5 years. He is said to be close to returning though, and maybe with some luck, he could return to the levels he was exhibiting before. The rather youthful-looking Donny Van de Beek. Between 2017 and 2019, he showed just how high his potential was with Ajax, scoring 30 goals over 96 matches, an impressive return from midfield. There were many suitors for his signature, but Manchester United would prevail and bring him to Old Trafford. Since arriving in 2020, he's played just 35 Premier League games, scoring 2 goals. With a recent loan to Eintracht Frankfurt, there still could be time to prove his quality again in Germany. In 2017, Moise Kean spent a season on loan with Hellas Verona. His 4 goals on the season were enough for Juventus to include him in their first team moving forward. His debut season was a success, leading Everton to buy him for up to €30 million. Aside from a good loan spell with PSG, where he hit a purple patch, it's been downhill ever since, and after 12 games this season for Juve, he's failed to find the back of the net once. After developing with Nottingham Forest, Oliver Burke took the unusual path of a move abroad with RB Leipzig. In his debut season, he played regularly, but could find the back of the net only once. West Bromwich Albion brought him back to the Midlands. Since then, he's played for 6 clubs in 3 different countries, and despite showing that early potential, right now he looks like he won't return to the upper echelons of the game anytime soon. Back in FM 2018, Kelechi Iheanacho has just arrived at Leicester City for a substantial £25 million. He made a slow start to life in the East Midlands, scoring just 9 league goals in his first 3 years. The 2021 season was probably his most impressive, as he hit the back of the net 19 times as Leicester won an FA Cup. Since then, he's suffered the ignominy of relegation, and although he's now playing in the second tier, he's not exactly setting the world alight. The 2018 season saw Lucas Tousart show the best form of his career. After being signed from Valenciennes, the French midfielder would become a staple in his new club's side, showing his destructive qualities in midfield. Outside of this, he captained the French under-19 side to their 2016 Euro triumph. Fast forward to 2024 and he's with Union Berlin, but he's yet to establish himself as a first-team regular and is in risk of losing that early career momentum. Some varied players, all of which still have time to reinvigorate faltering careers. Who knows what the future holds? And maybe they can get back to that early promise which is now eluding them.